You all work for the Queen, the monarchy, the King. You work for Charles, the monarchy. That's who you work for. All the politicians, they're all run by King Charles, man, over there in England.
I have a guess, and Brian, you would know much better, but my guess is part of the talk among liberals around the possibility of Mark Carney replacing Trudeau is a sense of resentment that he didn't take the Prime Minister up on his offer in 2021 to run. And you heard that in the scrum today, got a lot of questions from reporters. He wouldn't directly answer any of them. This would seem to me as a way to signal to liberals, like internally versus to the public, that I am, that he wants to perform some sort of function for them, that he is loyal to them. I want to help you out type of thing. I don't know whether it works, but my guess is he hopes he sends that message without, falling down on the Trudeau sinking ship at the same time.
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, I think a lot of
If you ask me, both parties are a sinking ship. I'm a 31-year-old voter, and I've never voted conservative ever in my whole life, or liberal federally, and I won't be voting for any of those two parties. So you better get your facts right, because the young generation is sick of the two-party paradigm. We're sick of the two parties, the two liberal conservative paradigm for years and years and years. We need to get a third party in there to change things up. And we need to abolish the monarchy. Because right now, all these politicians are run by the monarchy. They're run by Charles. The OPP, the RCMP, they're all controlled and manipulated by the monarchy. The Canadian people have no say. It's all controlled by the monarchy.
Into his fold, so that's a positive for him. For Carney, if he is planning on running, he's dead set on running. Like we just discussed, it could mitigate sort of any kind of issues that he had not running before, but also he gets to be in front of caucus. And sometimes when you are an outsider, meaning you're not in caucus, it can be difficult to get caucus members' support because you're just not seeing them.
They probably already know the outcome of the election already, because it's already chosen by the monarchy.
The negatives, I think for Trudeau and the team, it was already alluded to. A lot of hopefuls, a lot of leadership hopefuls in that caucus would be watching Carney speak to caucus, would be watching the media today, and I'm sure scratching their head or looking at the floor or just being quite irritated. And I think Trudeau certainly would want to have as many allies as he could right now. And the other negative, I just don't know if Carney wants to be in the brand, sort of associated with the brand of Trudeau. If he's going to run, the best thing that he had is that he is an outsider, not a part of.
Bankers are all in cahoots with the monarchy. The monarchy comes to Canada all the time. The royal family does, and collects their royalties from the banks.
Maybe losing that and risking that.
I think that's why I was saying I'm an outsider, to try and mitigate the potential risk. Brian made a point about what he might actually do and sort of set forth, Rob. And I think that sort of brings us back to where we were last week. Again, I feel like in the interim, in the last week, minister after minister after minister has sort of cemented this idea that there is not going to be something new in the window. Like,
there isn't, from the Conservatives or the Liberals. They keep running off of old policies. They recycle their policies. They take the old stuff from a long time ago and try to rehash it and try to present it to Canadians like it's new. Both parties do it.
Yeah, I'm surprised by that too, Vashti. And I thought, here it is, that we're almost in the 10th year. It's the 11th hour of almost the 10th year of government. And they bring in a former Bank of Canada, former Bank of England governor to be an advisor. And Lisa makes a very good point. He's an advisor to the leader of the Liberal
Harper
Party.
had advisors too that were bankers.
He's not going to bring any governing policies, presumably, to the table. I thought one of the most telling things, I think it was in French that Melanie Joly said it today in Nanaimo, talking about how when she's at the doors and people are saying how they can't afford their groceries and there is an affordability crisis.
The Conservatives and the Liberals both did nothing in terms of lowering grocery prices. They're allowing these corporations to do whatever they want to Canadians.
Certainly, Pierre Poilievre's Conservatives.
Harper did the same thing.
In a way that maybe the Liberals haven't articulated very well in a long time. I think that's interesting. I'm not sure that Mark Carney articulated that today. I mean, he may pay lip service to it, but some of the jargon that he was using, interface and things like that, I just found it to be not. He lacked the common touch. I thought Jolie was more impressive at the microphone today than he was.
You don't say.
Right, but there's a big difference between coming out. The Liberals are super disciplined, as you know. I've always been very impressed by them for having led another party. I've always found that they tend to wash their dirty laundry behind closed doors, and I think it's all to their credit. So Alexandra Mendez came out today. She was careful. She was putting this in the mouths of her voters in her riding. It was the same effect. So I suspect that there are many, many more Liberals who are getting the same thing on the doorstep. Those that do knock on doors, before the election actually starts. And I know because they're all getting the same stuff. We'll see. And on Monday, we're going to have these 2 by-elections, and we'll see. I'm told today by people doing this polling with here in Quebec that the Bloc is putting on a surge. I still think that it's the Liberals that's riding to have what LaSalle and Art are done here in Quebec, but they're convinced that the Bloc really has a chance of picking it up. The NDP was doing well until they did something very silly in terms
I
of
disagree. I disagree, Mark Kerr. I disagree.
So I think that you keep an eye on Monday's by-elections. There could be another big surprise and a big.
I think the NDP has a good chance of winning because we're sick of the two-party paradigm.